Alright, welcome back. Now, to be able to solve those questions, there are some groundworks which we have to lay. This will help us to understand what we are required to do. So we are going to do it pictorially so that you will be able to see what we are doing. Now, you see, before we will be able to answer those questions, we need to understand some things we call quadrants and how we form angles between 0 degree and 360 degree. So this is what we used to do. Now you guys know very well that this shape is a circle. This shape is a circle, and if I draw a diameter this way and another diameter this way, what we are going to call each of these four parts is quadrants. So each of those four parts are called what? Are called quadrants. I hope you are taking note of that. So they are called quadrants. Now, to deal with angles between 0 degree and 360 degree, we need a starting point. Now, you see this particular line is our starting point, 0 degree. So, and in which direction do we read our angles? We read our angles in the anti-clockwise direction. In the what? Anti-clockwise direction. This implies in the opposite direction of the way our clock works. You know, our clock works this way. So in the anti-clockwise direction, we go the other way. So we start with 0 degree. Then after 0 degree, because of the angle between here is 90 degree, then what we are going to have here is going to be 90 degree. So this is another right angle, and this will make it 180 degrees. Then plus another 90, you make it 270 degrees at this junction. Then back to this level, you are going to have 360 degrees, which implies that by rotating from this axis back to this particular axis, we have been able to rotate through an angle which is what? 360 degrees. Now looking at the direction of our movement, this part will be called the first quadrant. This is the first quadrant. This is the second quadrant. That is the second quarter of the circle. And this part is the third quadrant. The third quadrant. And lastly, this is the fourth quadrant. So when we are talking and we talk about the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, these are what we have in mind. We mean that the first quarter of the circle you are going to see when you are reading from the 0 degree, that is your first quadrant. And the second part of the circle, the second quarter of the circle is the second quadrant. While this is the fourth, and this is the third, and this is the fourth. I hope you have seen the direction in which we are taking this. So this way, then this way, then this way, and back to this level. So that is how we make our angle between 0 degree and 360 degrees. Now let us assume that whatever angle we are required to find, we represent that angle as angle theta. Angle theta. So let us assume that that angle is angle theta. So all the angles that we'll be talking about that we are required to find using our 4-figure table, we are going to refer to all of them as angle theta. Now, how do we represent angle theta with respect to our quadrants? Now, you see this first quadrant. This starts for the set of angles that are between 0 and 90. So, which means that whatever angle we are required to find should be an angle that 0 is less than, and the angle itself is less than 90 degrees. So, the first quadrant, this is the area where you will be able to find the angles that are what? That are greater than 0 but less than 90. While in this second part, you will find angles that 90 is less than them and they themselves are less than 180 degrees. So inside here, we see angles that are greater than 90 but lesser than 180 degrees. Now in this third part, there are going to be angles between 180 and 270. So we'll write 180 degree is less than theta, and theta is less than 270 degree. And for the last quadrant, this is where you will find angles that 270 are less than, 270 is less than them, and they are also less than 360 degree. Say for instance, if I'm required to find angle 73, 73 is a value between 0 and 90. So I am going to find this 73 in this first quadrant. But what if I am required to find angle 120 degree? This is an angle that is greater than 90 degree but less than 360 degree. So I will find it here up to 179 degree. I'm going to find all of them inside here. But if I'm required to find the angle which is 210 degree, you will notice that 210 degree is an angle greater than 180 degree but less than 270. So I will find that in the third quadrant. And lastly, if I'm required to find any angle from maybe 271 down to 359, these are angles that are greater than 270 but lesser than 360. So I'll find them in the fourth quadrant. Now, if you have this at the back of your mind, very good, then we can progress. So I urge you to stay tuned as I move on to the next part, where we'll be talking about the next thing we need to know.